Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Jemshi.
And I'm Pescador. And in this episode of the podcast, we talk about an MLB player that loses his cool. We talk about the salaries that eSports players make. And we talk about gaming in old people homes.
Yeah, and we also talk about how people have been arrested for playing PUBG Mobile. And yes, it is as crazy as it sounds. We're also talking about Google's new announcement, what they are announcing tomorrow, and our speculation as to what that actually could be.
Jemshi, have you seen the new trailer for Avengers? The Avengers Endgame?
I have not, and
What?
That's actually on purpose, because I actually try not to watch any trailers for movies that are coming out, just because I like going into the theater not really knowing what it's about. I feel like that trailers nowadays seem to really give away too much of what the story is. You know? Where
Yeah, I
feel like
could see that.
I know that there's like some movies, like I can't remember the name, but there was some dog or something where like the dog gets lost and has like this journey and then it comes back home. I haven't even seen the movie. That's all I got for the trailer. And the whole thing was about it traveling around and it finally comes home.
I
And
have
like, oh my
no
God.
idea what movie you're talking about. That's
I know,
that's gonna
but
bother me. I have to go look it up. Like dog lost home, dude. I'll find like stuff from like the 1990s with like Homeward Bound and stuff like that. I'm sure, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just think like that's the only one I can think off the top of my head where like I was like I know exactly what's gonna happen in this movie. And I like, because I remember I saw it, and I was like, that's really weird. Why would they give away the whole plot of the movie? So I Googled it, like, surely there's more to this. And that was it.
That was it?
You know? Yeah, and I think, like, there's some kind of thing where, like, movie studios try to, like, when they make their trailers, they try to give a lot of the storyline, so you kind of know what's going to happen, so that way you're like, I don't know, I feel like they think it sells better, when you're like, okay, I know it's going to be a good movie, because I know this is what's going to happen.
See, that's the thing, though, man, because on the other hand, I can't just sit and wait for something to come out. Like, I've seen the trailers for the new season for what is it, Game of Thrones. I've seen Aladdin, the trailer. Like, I'm pumped for Aladdin. I loved Aladdin as a kid.
I haven't seen that one either.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I can't, like, when someone's like, there's a new trailer out for something, I'm like, I gotta see it. I just can't. But to your, argument, I've actually had instances in which I went to go see a movie that I had no idea about, and it was phenomenal. So, for example, I went to go see The Martian a long time ago. I had no idea it was starring Matthew Damon. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. My friend was like, let's go see it. And I'm like, dude, I know nothing about this, but sure, let's go see it. I went, saw it. My mind was blown. It was a fantastic movie, and I'm really happy I knew nothing about it because I went in there like, where are we going here? Like, what's this about? Like, and then it went to like some crazy, like, in-depth parts, and I'm like, what's gonna happen next? I had no idea. But
right, and I feel like that's exactly what I enjoy about a movie is like not knowing anything and just being like having no idea what could happen is like in the story, I guess. I mean, for video games, yeah. I feel like I do kind of want to see it because that's a lot more time investment than a movie. Because a movie's like 1 to 2 hours, you're done. As opposed to like a video game, that's something you're gonna invest a lot of time in. You're like, well, do I want to pay to buy this video game if I don't know what it's going to be about? I can see why trailers for games would be, I don't know. I'm a little different opinion on the game trailers.
It's tough. It's tough for me to say that, man, because I'd punch a UFC fighter in the face for like the chance to go see like the trailer for Endgame, because I've seen it and I've watched it a few times, and it makes hairs on my neck stand up. It gives me goosebumps. I love it. I absolutely am so pumped for the movie. And I know it comes out April 26th. I'm not going to give you any like spoilers in the trailer because I know that's how you like it apparently now, because I had no idea. But no,
I go dark a lot on social media on purpose for that reason. There's like extensions you can buy to like, or not buy, but maybe you can, I guess, but like get on like Google Chrome to like hide trailer stuff.
I didn't even know that they existed. That's impressive.
Like they know exactly what kind of thing happening.
So you go to the huge extent to like block every content involving new things, like new trailers and stuff. Is this including games too?
No, not games. That's what I was saying. Games. Like,
no, I'm just saying. Is this like Google Chrome blockage? Is that for game trailers as well, or just movie trailers?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess it's like I haven't.
I'm interested.
I'll go and look up game trailers on YouTube. Like if I hear a game that's coming out, I'll be like, I'm gonna go look it up like myself. Like, so there's nothing that I could, they can do about that.
Yeah.
I guess if you're like out of your way, like I am going to go look this up,
Yeah. But I have an interesting topic, and I thought it was really funny to kind of bring it up. I was reading an article today about a player in the MLB, and his name is, I think it's Carlos Santana, if I remember correctly. Isn't there a band Santana?
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds like that guitarist guy.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a professional player, and apparently he played for the Phillies, and they were going through this really long lose streak, excuse me. But it was back in September of last year, and what ended up happening was he noticed that some of the people in the bullpen and in the bench that were just sitting there, kind of playing. They get subbed in, that kind of stuff, and they're playing Fortnite. Yes, they're playing Fortnite. And they're playing
in the dugout?
Like during practices and things like that, they were like, their minds were completely off the game. And apparently,
oh wow,
apparently he got so pissed off that one day he decided he took matters in his own and grabbed a baseball bat and smashed the TV that they were actually playing on. Like he completely demolished that TV. And that brings me to my next point, or my question, I should say. Do you think that he had the right to do that?
I mean, I think that with those baseball players, like a TV to them is probably like doesn't cost them anything,
Oh yeah,
like they're probably like, to him, he's like, I can just buy another TV when I want to play again. I don't know,
but it's the principle of the thing. Like, did you think that was a great idea on his part, or what? Or in my question now, I have more or less is for the future. Do you think that a lot of teams are going to be doing something similar to this, like? Can you see football players get on their phones playing some, PUBG
Mobile?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Can you see this?
I can see that. I don't think that they're going to be smashing TVs. I feel like I know that with like how those major league, baseball and other sports teams kind of work, is they always want to have a good look on the team. They want all their players to have like a good reputation. If there's any kind of, they don't want to have like the hothead on the team or something. If maybe the team there's some teams that probably would love to have a hothead because like we don't win games. We'd love to just, maybe the Phillies would love it, but
that's their job. I mean,
TV.
It's their job, and he's really, frustrated the fact that they weren't, really participating in paying attention. That's their job. So, I mean, I don't condone that kind of activity, but I can understand his frustration. I would not go to the extent of smashing a TV. That's just a little ridiculous. I mean, granted, I'm sure he can shell out, a couple $100 to buy a new TV. It's not a big deal to him, but I mean, I think he's sending a point to his team that, hey, pay attention to the game. Don't play games on your own time, kind of thing. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they might have, like, I can see maybe some major league games, like, okay, we got to get the kids like more interested in the sports team or something. Maybe that sports team will get together. They're gonna have a LAN party for Fortnite or.
I was gonna say maybe that helps kids get into the game of baseball, knowing they're playing some Fortnite on the side.
Right, like you're like, oh man, the guys that are playing baseball, like they play Fortnite just like me, like you know what I mean? Like it makes them like, okay,
yeah, but not during games and during practices. I think that's a time for them to focus. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think during practice, I didn't even know that was even a problem. I didn't even like, you know what I mean? I feel like I thought major league people like they wouldn't even have like time to like downtime. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought that they always had to be like sitting there rigorously training because like they know that as soon as whoever's training is better than, you know what I mean? Like whoever trains more is going to be likely better.
Yeah.
That's how everybody is for the Olympics, like they train almost their entire life for these sports. Like, Michael Phelps has been swimming all his life and, everybody else, like, what is it? Usain Bolt. Yeah. He's been running like constantly all his life. It's like if you don't train as much as they do, if you've been sitting, you know what I mean? Like start falling behind. I don't know how easy it is to catch up.
Well, I mean, it might pave way for more things like this to happen. I mean, it's just the world we live in. Technology is so ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Games are everywhere. And
right.
normal people like us, we love to play. I mean, I don't know if you know, for example, Brandon Urie, the lead singer of Panic at the Disco, he has his own. He starts streaming on Twitch, and he plays on his off times, like in between sessions and like on tour. He actually streams, but it kind of pulls the whole crowd and get to see him in a different light. See him like get, I guess, immersed in the gaming world, see him become like I guess he's not so much a godlike figure. It's not really godlike, but you know what I'm saying. He's an actually relatable kind of person. You can see him as an actual person when he plays games.
Right, bring him back down to earth and kind of talk and just chat, because that's what he is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, most of the time you see him, he's in a very polished, edited...
Yeah.
Like, all the clips are just things that he's, like, edited down, and this is all you get to see of him. And now you get to see him raw, unedited for, like, an hour or two just sitting there playing games, you know?
Yeah, I was actually interested to see his take on some things, so I watched him for a little bit, and he strongly suggested the fact that he does not like interviews. So that's sad for me, because I wanted to interview this guy one day, but he hates interviews. So it puts a little damper on my plan. But
and he must have just had some bad experiences with interviews.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, people probably try to get you to say some terrible things as, you know, as a reporter. That's their job, to kind of get new and exciting information from someone that's been interviewed multiple times. So I'm sure they try to put you under the bus.
Their own twist, yeah.
Yeah, and then they try to catch you saying something. Oh, yeah, and that's their job, and I don't blame them. I mean, I don't like the fact that they do that, but that's just what they do, you know? They try to create something out of nothing, and I don't blame him for hating, you know, interviews, because I'm sure they do that constantly to him, because if you got interviewed 60 billion times, and who's to say that you're not going to pull any new information out if you try to interview him? So, you know, they would probably try to throw some really weird questions in to try to catch him off guard and say something really terrible so they can blow it up in the headlines, you know? So,
yeah.
But since we're talking about people that make an exorbitant amount of money, you know, MLB players, lead singers of bands, did you see the fact that eSports gamers are making 6 figures?
Like professional gamers?
Yeah.
That are just...
Isn't that mind-blowing? Because growing up, I always thought that people that made 6 digits... doctors, you know, professional sports.
And that was something you achieved after. For me, I think that was something I always thought was only achievable after years and years of college and university, you know, graduate, maybe PhD.
Yeah.
Working, and then even after that, working for a little bit longer, you know, and then maybe you're in your 30s or 40s, you're now, you know what I mean? You've spent 30 or 40 years in school and, working just to get yourself to that point, you know.
It just blows my mind, because, you know, like I said, growing up, I always thought that the professional sports athletes were the ones that made tons of money, you know, doctors, all that stuff, but lawyers. But it blows my mind that all that time that my parents would say, you're wasting time playing video games. I'm not wasting time, Mom and Dad. Actually, now I can make 6 digits playing games for an esports team. So joke's on them.
You're only wasting time if you don't make it.
Exactly. But it still lands you in the possibility you can be. I wonder if they have something set up you know how the second string team, I forget the technical term. It's the warm up team, or the what's it called? And I can't think of the name. But football teams have their warm up squad or their second string team that they play against. You know, the offense goes against their second string defense to kind of tune them in and stuff like that. And if you're on it's practice squad. Why couldn't I think of that word? On the practice squad. Really yeah, so on the practice squad, people still make a crap ton of money. And I mean a crap ton of money. So I wonder if, you know, you're not good enough yet to make the team. If you're on the practice squad, if you get paid quite a bit of money too. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
That. I feel like that's actually going to be a viable market where you can be let's say you're not a professional gamer, but you're almost there. You're very, you know what I mean? A professional gamer would have to actually try to be, you know what I mean? They wouldn't stomp you. I can see that happening where instead of being a, you know, a stream, or what got me saying stream team now. Professional sports team or something or, oh my gosh, dude, you got me all messed up.
I'm sorry. It's rubbing off. I apologize. It's been a long day today. You're talking about the esports teams?
I'm trying to, an esports team. So let's say that they need to practice. A lot of times that they just go online and they just kind of go into ranked matches. They're like, okay, we're really good, but we've got some people that we're trying to play against, and they don't really get that great of practice. And I think that would be a very, you know, useful thing for them to have is okay, I'm going to play people that I'm going to play against them, and they're going to be let's say League of Legends is a really popular game. Yeah. They could have okay, I'm gonna play these guys. There's different types of strategies. Okay, you have the junglers and lane switching and all kinds of stuff. Like, let's say that you want to practice against a certain type of strategy.
Or a certain combination of characters.
Right. Like, you could start just like, I want to play against the people, but I don't want to just like, play against anybody and kind of hope it comes up. You want to kind of be prepared for those things. You could start like honing in on specific things. I can see that becoming a, viable market for.
I wonder if they like people sneak into their facilities when they're training and record them. I mean, I know football teams used to do that to understand the patterns and the plays just so they can practice those. And obviously it's not legal for them to do that. But I mean, I wonder if they have people sneaking into facilities, because think about it. Anything that involves competition and getting paid, people are going to find ways to cheat. Like, I'm wondering if there is a case somewhere that's happened. I really want to know now, actually.
I know that they've definitely tried to practice in secret, and they try not to, like, stream what they're practicing. Like, I know a lot of the, pro players have their own, like, Twitch stream, so they can kind of stream on there. But I know that they try to, like, when they practice, they try not to practice publicly because they don't want people to just to kind of like their opposing team that they're going to play against. Like, oh, okay, this is what he does. He usually comes this way, and I can see that he's in this lane, and he pops over in the jungle this time about this time in the match. Stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like they don't want to kind of give away that strategy. I think there might even start becoming because whenever they get there's like the major league and the minor league.
Yeah,
I feel like for regular sports, I think for esports, I feel like I can see a minor and major league start kind of coming about because I think that once
moving them up in the ranks, when someone's
like I think like how do you find good talent, and then it's like, okay, let the minor leagues be the guys that are like who's excelling, who's the guy that is really standing out in the minor leagues, and that's how
funny you bring that up because I was just at a minor league hockey game over the weekend, and it's so funny because I'm sitting there thinking like, I wonder who out of this team is actually good enough to make the NHL. And who would they sit in the NHL to, like, bring those individuals up? Obviously, there's injuries, but there's not going to be... I mean, I can't really think of any injuries that can occur during an esports game, like, session. You know what I'm saying? So, I wonder...
Well, yeah, I know sometimes it's... there's some people where they have, like, visa issues. That's been some complications for some teams. Because, like, that one they want to, like, travel to the... Like, they still travel. They don't sit at home playing. They want to travel and be... So, there's visa issues. There's people that, a lot of these gamers are actually kind of young, so I think they have like the parents who are like, "No, you got to stay in school. Don't be skipping." So I think they have a lot of other things that probably major league, because I think, like you said, like minor and major league baseball, like that's a lot more, I don't know, respected and understood by people who are older than video games are. They wouldn't really see like, oh, why are you going to travel across the country just to go to this gaming convention and try to win some, you might not even win anything. What's the point of going? It's going to be a waste of time. It's like, that's, that's, I can see that. That's the kind of hurdles I see them.
Dude, can you imagine in the future? You just brought up an awesome point, and I'm super stoked about this. Like, old people homes right now, they have like chess and books. Like, can you imagine when we get that age, the crazy, like, we're going to be gamers. I mean, I'm going to be a gamer through and through. I'm not going to change that about myself. And you think that so many people our age plays games, and when we get that age, like old people homes are going to be filled with like, they have to be, right? Like, obviously in the future,
they would probably have like, well, I guess like they have like the consoles is probably like they're gonna be like, oh, here's my console closet. Which one do you want to plug in and play or something? Like they're all like kind of hooked up to the TV or something.
Can you imagine unruly like 80-year-olds just be like, you son of a gun, you killed me, Someone probably gonna have a heart attack, probably like, quick scoping people, just like, I can only imagine. That'd be a good one.
Although I think the future is, I think everyone's just gonna have their own PC and every console is just gonna be emulated. Because how like N64 games, PS2 games maybe. I don't know how about PS3, but you can emulate a lot of these games on a PC. So I just imagine that it's not like you're just gonna see like, okay, you're gonna walk around the house instead of seeing like the chessboard or anything. It's just gonna be like you're gonna walk into the room, you're like, oh, this is your gaming room, huh? Like you're gonna see 3 monitors, like your big gaming PC and a nice gaming chair. That's probably what's gonna give it away is if you see the gaming chair.
Dude, I don't even know.
You never know. Maybe it's going to be like a recliner or something.
Or maybe it's going to be a virtual reality that you don't even have to, like, you just put a little headset on and it's like so tiny that you don't even need to see. You just like walk around and actually engage. But I can't see 80-year-olds doing that. Like, they're probably falling over dead trying to like run across the map. Oh my goodness gracious!
I don't know. It might be a little more lively if you've got a reason to move around. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna sit at home and play video games, but you have to like move around and stuff, maybe you'll be a lot more active.
I mean, they say that Okinawa, Japan has the like oldest living people, or the highest average, like I can't remember how it's worded, but they have
life expectancy.
That's it. Thank you. Yes. So I think that's an awesome idea. Maybe because I know that they're over in Okinawa, they're very active, and the way that they honor older individuals is actually like, they help them get around and they really respect their elders. So I mean, maybe getting them more engaged will get them a healthier life. So maybe putting some gaming systems in virtual reality or something like that in some older people homes, 80-year-olds moving around, get them going.
I guess I had like kind of like the Wii was. You know how the Wii console, how like that had like a bunch of movement and stuff, and I think that's because I think it was like one of the highest selling consoles. I'm not sure if the highest
with older
for Nintendo
people.
Yeah, like with the older people, everyone got the Wii because it was like, okay, like you can get the Wii Fit.
Funny story though,
that they could do.
The Wii that I got, actually, it's not that I didn't want it. It's just the fact that I wasn't so thrilled with the Wii. Like I wanted it for the Mario games, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. But my dad was like, let's get it. Let's do that. And I was like, are you serious right now? You want to get the Wii? And he's like, yeah, I want to get the Wii. Because apparently they went over to my aunt's house for New Year's. And they were playing the Wii. And they absolutely loved it. They were playing, I think it was bowling and then tennis.
Yeah, it's
and they loved it.
The Wii Sports.
Yep, they get so hooked on that. So I remember my dad sat there for hours trying to like play tennis, and I can hear him swearing downstairs. He's, just hitting. You can hear him like going forehand, backhand downstairs, and then he would go, "Hey, come downstairs. I want to show you something." And I'm thinking he wants me to help him build something or something like that. And I get downstairs, he's like, "Play me at tennis. Come on." I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm practicing. Come on, play." And I'm not even kidding. He crushed me. Like, he straight up crushed me. Like, he, like, served overhand, and he was just hitting these crazy things. Like, I mean, granted, I just started playing the Wii, and he was, like, he just bought it that whole week, and I had work in school, so I barely had time to do anything. I get back, and he, like, was practicing, like, because he was retired at the time, like, he was practicing nonstop. So, I mean, he was really good at it, but then I crushed him after, like, a week of playing it, so he wasn't too happy, and he stopped playing the Wii. So
why would you do that?
I know, I probably should have gave it to him, but you wouldn't believe the trash talking he would have. Like, we'd sit down and have cereal in the morning. He'd be like, "Did you like that backhand last night, huh?" That sounds pretty bad when I say that. It sounds like he beat me, but no.
I didn't know that's what kind of trash talk you guys got.
My dad's pretty funny. He'd be like, "You like that overhand serve? You'd like that?" Like, he would say it in the middle of the matches, man. He would embarrass me, and then like, I remember my friend came over and he'd be like, "Hey, tell him what how bad I beat you in Wii Sports the other day," to my friends when they come over. I'm like, "Dad,
don't embarrass me, Dad."
Yeah, right. I'm like, dude, this old guy shouldn't be showing me up. But my dad was hilarious. But I'm glad it happened. Anywho,
here, let's move to this next story. I want to talk about this one because this one's hilarious to me. So, everyone knows about PUBG. I mean, I would hope you know. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds also has a mobile app. And over in India, they just created a ban of PUBG Mobile in the state of Gujarat. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And that was effective March 6th. So that's like 2 weeks ago? Like not even 2 weeks, like a week and a half. And so far, they've arrested 16 people for playing PUBG Mobile.
16
like,
people?
Isn't that insane?
I'm shocked right now. I can't even imagine. Like, they have to be young, right?
Yeah, I think it's saying that these are all students. And what I find the most hilarious is the reason for why they banned this game. And it says
That was actually my next question.
Yeah, the game, according to local authorities, is too addictive, especially for students. And then there's there's a minister who's the state, like another state in India. So there's a lot of states are actually starting to follow suit with this. Like, this isn't just the only state in India. Yeah, so another one was like, he called this game a demon in every house.
Oh my goodness. Man. Wow.
I just can't believe that it's actually illegal to play the game.
So what are they, like, how long are they booked for? Like, they're in jail. Does it state how long they're going to be in jail for playing this game?
I'm not sure. I can't find much more about it. I mean, I can't really read.
So what, they're like...
Hindi, but...
So they're considering this to be an addictive substance? Like a drug almost? Or addictive entity? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, I know I guess, and they really value the fact that, because it says for students, and I think it's really focusing on the fact that they probably aren't studying and they're actually playing this game. And like I think it's like we've talked before, like they don't really see games as something that you can really, it's not worth your time or your.
So this ban is only effective for students, or is this ban effective for every single person?
Really? It's for everyone, but it's kind of, it's because of the problem they see with the youth or whatever. And it's really funny because they're like, our team caught these youths red-handed.
Yeah, it sounds like they're doing something terrible, like vandalizing the neighborhood or something.
They're like walking down the street and they see somebody just sitting on the corner playing PUBG Mobile, and they're like, oh my god, look at that. It's a bad...
Look at those kids. Those youth, the street youths, My goodness gracious, man. What is this world coming to?
Right, they're like, them dang 9-year-olds. But it's just like, yeah, they got taken into custody, so they definitely got fined. I doubt that they're actually going to keep them.
They're not going to detain them? Okay.
Like, I mean, keep them for too long, but they're definitely going to get some kind of fine or some kind of marker on their record. But I just find that insane.
I want to know what that mark is on the record, It'd be like, you apply for a job and like, it says here on your record, that you got arrested for playing PUBG. You want to explain yourself? Like, well, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they're like, are you going to be playing PUBG Mobile here at work now too?
Yeah, like once a PUBG player, always a PUBG player kind of thing. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't. It blows my mind. I honestly can't understand this. But I mean, I understand that they value education, but dang, that's a huge thing. Like, I can't even believe it.
I think it's interesting is it's not that the game is like violent. It's because they say it's too addictive. Like, there's so many other games that are so much more worse than PUBG Mobile, like in terms of graphic or any kind of offensive content.
Yeah.
But the fact that they chose it because it was like everyone's playing this game. That'd be like over here in America if like they had like some kind of law that said, okay, no more Fortnite. No more because they're like, oh, all the kids are playing it. But
can you imagine? Can you imagine if they passed some kind of thing like that in the U.S. about Fortnite?
I just know that whatever happens to Fortnite, like they're just gonna whoever's the next clone of Fortnite is gonna be the next successor. Like that. Because like every game company is gonna see that they're like, this game's banned. Let's make I don't know what other Fortnite 2, or probably name it something different, like Fort Day.
I think that game companies are gonna stick away from that market of India just because of. Like, they can deem anything addictive in saying, hey, I'd rather not market it for that area than, in my opinion, if I was a game company, because you're just going to lose money. I mean, they're going to be like, all right, well, your product, a lot of people are playing it. We're going to deem it addictive, banning it. Like,
yeah, right, I think that would be very risky, but I do know that over there in Asia, they are like the number one like market for mobile games, which is why they're playing PUBG Mobile as opposed to actual PUBG on the desktop. So I think that, like you said, they're probably not going to make Battle Royale, but I think that they would probably...
I wonder if it's more the fact that they're like... Because you're out and, walking around or something and you are still playing... I wonder why it's just mobile. Like,
it's because I know that everyone over there has a phone, but not everybody has a computer. And I think that's something that is kind of different over here. Because, I know, a lot of companies that like.
Does it say in the article if it's banned for all consoles or something? It's just PUBG Mobile.
It's just PUBG Mobile. So that's what I'm saying. I think, but I know that like the reason the phone boom is that like because everyone had like the developing countries have been kind of like picking up a lot faster now that like the internet is a thing and people can kind of like help each other out and kind of establish countries. So like I think the first thing is that a lot of people get a phone because now they can start communicating with people that they couldn't communicate with at like a while, like a couple of years ago, or I don't know how long it was. So I think for them that's a lot more useful. So I think that's why everyone has a phone, and then because everyone has a phone, they're like, well, I just spent so much money on my phone, I'm not going to buy a computer.
I just can't. I seriously can't believe that they would do that. That's just unreal. I mean, blows my mind. Because it just stops like, okay, so say that they ban this because it's addictive. What's the next gray line that they're going to hit with gaming? Like, it seems to me like, I mean... Or what, like, where do you draw that line? Like, okay, maybe Rocket League is, like, what if it comes out for, phones, mobile? It's a fun game, but, like, how do you determine what's addictive and what's not addictive? Where do you draw that line?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like they're addressing the problems of the few instead of the problems of the many. Like, there's probably some people who are definitely addicted to this game. Yeah. People who probably play it casually, they're like, oh, I got some downtime between classes. Let me just play a couple of games with some friends,
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one thing that I feel that also helps people who are in college. Like, sometimes it's like, well, I don't want to, like, go out and party or something. I want to do something else. I want to sit and hang out with friends, but I don't want to be, like, partying. So, like, we can all sit around and play PUBG, and then we all can wake up tomorrow morning not feeling too bad because we hopefully didn't stay up too late. That's all they're just going to feel tired instead of, like, whatever they, hung over or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just know that there's, like, definitely kind of like a market for that where it's like you can stay social with people that you don't actually get to see often, which is one of the things I love about video games, is that you don't even have to be in the same state, city, country, or anything to like play games with people as long as they got an internet connection.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're kind of serving up with these mobile games. So I really hope that they start, not like unbanning these like games, because I don't know if this is the first game they've banned, but I think, like you said, this is a very bad like trend if that's just like already banning one game.
I just think it's very tough to, I guess, monitor this kind of. I mean, obviously they can monitor it, but I'm saying like, where do they draw the line? I mean, to what point do they say, okay, that game is too popular, it's addictive, let's take it back? I think it's very
it doesn't seem
tough.
like it's the correct reason. It's just because the game is popular. Like if you look at everyone's phone and you see it's downloaded, it doesn't mean it's like it'd be like banning Facebook. Like, okay, everyone gets a phone and Facebook's pre-installed, like there's nothing you can do about that. Like, but
anyway, we're going to move on actually to the next topic, which is about tomorrow's announcement with Google. And I know that I'm really upset that we're not going to be able to talk about it in this episode. We will touch upon it on the next episode, which I'm excited to see what Google's going to release. But this is going to be speculation. So I know you've read some things that you understand what they're trying to accomplish. So what do you interpret?
So they're trying to, from what I understand, they're trying to create so currently Google's going to make an announcement tomorrow at their GDC 2019, which is what is GDC? It's like the game developers conference. There you go. So they're going to announce some big project tomorrow. They haven't released any information about what it is, but everyone's kind of figured out it's probably something to do with gaming because it's at the Game Developers Conference, and they've had a previous gaming project back in October called like Project Stream, or the Stream Project, and with that it was like a test to see, like testing this like random service that they just kind of randomly brought up for, trying not to raise too much awareness about like, hey, you can play Assassin's Creed 5 if, on the streaming service that we've got. And with that is that you could actually log in through like Google Chrome or something and play this game without actually having like, because I think what they're doing is they're streaming the game as opposed to actually having it on your computer. So that way you wouldn't actually need, like all you would need would be a good internet connection as opposed to a good computer, which is actually kind of cool because now I've seen actually services that do this. I think there's I think it's called Shadow, where it's a kind of a streaming service where all you gotta do is just connect to the internet, and it has all the computers off somewhere, rendering the game and sending you the what you see in the game over the internet.
Yeah.
So that way it's just as fast, but you could have like any kind of computer and still play it.
Yeah.
So that's what they assume that this announcement is going to be a like continuation of that Project Stream that they released for Assassin's Creed 5 and create like an actual service out of it. And
so additionally, the Netflix of gaming, the new Netflix of gaming, if you will.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Analogy there. That's actually, so I know that even Microsoft is starting to kind of doing their own cloud streaming service for games too. So I wonder if this is going to be the new fad, because I think one of the big hindrances for people is like, okay, I got to buy the console, I got to buy the, or the big PC if you want to play big PC games, which is, it is a lot of money. Like, let's be honest here. So I think if this is something that, okay, I'd rather pay a monthly fee to play these games instead of paying, a huge amount up front to play some games. I think this could be a big viable market if this is something that they actually come out with.
But the question is, do you think that Google could pull it off? Because you said it yourself, Microsoft is coming out with their own, streaming service. And Google's new to the whole gaming aspect. I mean...
they have their own kind of... I guess they have like Android games, but they only really sell this. Yeah. They're only their marketplace. They're not actually the game makers themselves. Correct. I feel like they have a chance. I think it's just a matter of whether or not game streaming and like as like a playing games over a stream like that is going to be something that people actually want. And for someone like you and me who bought gaming PCs, and built our own, put the things together, and that wouldn't appeal to me because I'd be like, I spent all this money on my gaming PC. Why am I suddenly going to start paying a monthly fee?
But maybe you can stream some games that you've just wanted to try out. I mean, I'm assuming you play a monthly rate. So what I would guess, I mean, you could probably play in a year in advance, but you can play whatever games for a pretty cheap price. From what I'm thinking, it's going to be. This is all speculation, so I literally have no idea. But
I mean, they could probably do some kind of like, for every hour you play, they charge you so much or something. I don't know.
I think that they'd probably just do like a Netflix kind of thing and be like, monthly rate is X, a yearly rate is Y, figure out which one's the best for you and then pay us that much. But also, I did read the fact that they want to put them on, like, you can actually stream them on phones. But I mean, that again is speculation. So, but then again, India might have an issue with this, addictive. They might ban it, I don't know. They're trying to get people away from using their mobile devices and gaming. So, I mean,
yeah, I think this is interesting. I would love to see what the announcement is going to be.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm going to be definitely staying tuned to check it out so we can keep like a better opinion as to what it's going to be. Because for all we know, it could be wrong. They could have their own console coming out.
Yeah.
And the console could just be, because that's another thing is that they do have a patent for their own controller. Google does. And we've kind of seen like prototypes where people kind of take the patent and they're like, hey, this is probably what it looks like, because like they don't actually have like the actual controller themselves. They just kind of speculate based on what the design is in the patent.
Yep.
So maybe they're going to have their own console that kind of does the streaming where it's like, okay, it's just the interface. So it's like, it's still a console you could plug into your TV. So
no, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see if Google as a company can enter in the gaming like world as their, that's tough. I mean, with people that are already established in this kind of marketplace and already dabbling in that same exact realm of possibility as they are, it kind of leaves me thinking that maybe
really hard to break into that market, because right now we have PlayStation, we have Xbox, and we have Nintendo.
So let's be honest though, man. Like if you were to say Microsoft and Google are designing the same exact thing, I mean, if that is the case, some streaming service for games, choose one. I'm not gonna lie, Microsoft has been proven. They've been pretty good for me. I own an Xbox. I like their marketplace. I'm probably going to go with Microsoft. I'll be completely honest.
I'm going to go with Microsoft also, just in the fact that I know, like you said, they have a history with games. They've developed game hardware. They've made the Xbox. They have a whole company in a team behind that kind of process, so they know how to kind of like. I feel like they could translate that over to, whatever service they try to create, and also they have their own what's it called, like cloud computing service. So like if that's actually what it goes to, where it's a like a streaming game, whatever, I don't know what the term's going to be called, like game streaming, because I feel like game streaming people probably think like, okay, like Twitch streaming.
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's really hard to kind of like differentiate between like game streaming and actually like gameplay streaming, I guess. But I know with game streaming they have like their own cloud computing service, but so does Google. But like I said, I think with them already having the hardware and experience with games, I would go with Microsoft being the one that would actually. I feel like because they would also have the market of Xbox, whatever they have. If there's a streaming service, they're probably just going to be able to pull everyone who's an Xbox, their fan.
They have the infrastructure, is what you're saying,
right? They've got the audience and the amount of sway to it. Because like if Google comes out, they only have as many people as who buys the console. Microsoft already has everyone who plays Xbox. Oh yeah,
Google
Xbox
has a
Live
crap
account.
ton of money to throw, man. I mean, they have tons of databases everywhere. They have server. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the capability to do it. By all
That's
means,
what I'm saying. They have good ideas, but like let's talk about like Google Glass. What happened to that one? You don't hear about it anymore because it's not a thing anymore. So it's like they do have a lot of money to make a lot of great things, but I don't think that they have like I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't have the experience ready to.
I mean, I'm not going to judge right off the bat because obviously still we don't have any idea what they're doing. But if it's the same as something else that's being in production or trying to come to fruition for like Microsoft, I'm not going to be super blown away by it. I mean, it's going to be neat that Google is entering the game market with whatever it may be. But I mean, will I go with, unless they bring something new to the table? I don't think I'll ever check Google out in
if it's
a sense, but
for me,
maybe I will.
If Google releases their own console, I don't think that it will do very well. But if they release their own game streaming service, like subscription based, I feel like that would actually do pretty well because everyone has Google Chrome. They can, I think most people do, and I think that would actually be that'd be pretty successful. I don't know how successful, but I think that'd be pretty.
We'll find out. Who knows? Maybe we're completely wrong. Maybe they're not even coming out with anything gaming. Maybe they just thought it'd be funny. It's still speculation. I don't think that's the case. But I mean, who knows what it could be? It could be a ton of different things. Maybe it's a new virtual reality headset. I have no idea. But we'll find out tomorrow, actually. But I'm excited to see.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and rate and subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts. We release a new episode every Wednesday and Friday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.